as in Caitlin Clark, is out, end quote. My answer would be yes. I'm not going to summarily dismiss the WNBA. It's growing popular. MVP voting was the clear winner for Rookie of the Year. No competition whatsoever in that regard when it was prowess that she had. They ignored the fact that flights because of this girl. They ignored the fact that ratings were going through Magic and Bird. That didn't stop Jordan. 5 rebounds in a playoff game. That was Caitlin Clark. You think that's an accident? Thanks to Clark, Indiana led the league in attendance both at home and on the road. The Fever averaged 17,019% from the year earlier.
Stephen A. Smith opens with the actual news. The Fever announced Caitlin Clark will be out at least 2 weeks with a left quad strain, diagnosed after an MRI following pain she reported in a loss to the Liberty. That's the real headline everything else in this segment builds off of, and it's worth grounding the whole conversation in that before it goes anywhere else.
Talk about announcers too. Talk about pundits as well. There's a whole bunch of people that didn't want to give Caitlin Clark her shine. But let me go over some of these numbers just to remind y'all of what this young sister brought to the table. Because we all brothers from another mother and all of that other stuff, and sisters from another mother, and got that. That's why I said that. Let's look at this. Became the first rookie with at least 25 points, 5 assists, and 5 rebounds in a playoff game. That was Caitlin Clark. Became the 4th different rookie to play all.
Somebody tweeted him directly asking whether the WNBA can keep itself afloat while Clark's out, and his answer is a clean yes. He name-checks A'ja Wilson and Breanna Stewart specifically, giving real credit to the talent this league has independent of Clark. That's an important starting point before he pivots into the more pointed part of this take.
Players in this league that watch this young white girl come along and take the league by storm, and they resented it because they saw the marketing prowess that she had. They ignored the fact that you got chartered flights because of this girl. They ignored the fact that ratings were going through the roof because of this girl. Instead, they resented it because they said, yo, we were doing stuff long before Caitlin Clark got here, and y'all wasn't paying attention then. But now, the young white...
He's careful here, in a way that matters. Explicitly saying he's not going to claim other players hate Clark the way RG3 suggested about Angel Reese. But he draws a real distinction. He thinks the resentment, where it exists, isn't about Clark as a person, it's about what she represents. That's a more careful framing than a lot of this discourse gets credit for.
Where the Indiana Fever announced that star Caitlin Clark will be out at least 2 weeks with a left quad strain. Clark reported some pain in her leg Saturday after the team's loss to the New York Liberty. She subsequently underwent an MRI and was diagnosed with the strain on Monday. Clark was the
And he backs up why she's earned the attention with real numbers. All-star as a rookie, 4th in MVP voting, the unanimous Rookie of the Year. Those are actual confirmed 2024 accolades, not exaggeration.
These 2 weeks with a left quad strain. Clark reported some pain in her leg Saturday after the team's loss to the New York Liberty. She subsequently underwent an MRI and was diagnosed with the strain on Monday. Clark was the WNBA's Rookie of the Year last season and a first-team All-WNBA selection. So far, she's averaging 19 points and a league-leading 9.3 assists.
Here's the part of this take that's going to generate the most discussion. He's saying some players resented watching this young white girl take the league by storm and get credit for chartered flights and rating spikes that, in his framing, those players feel they'd already earned through years of work before she arrived. That's Smith's own characterization of a sentiment he's attributing to unnamed others, not a claim he's making about any specific named player.
The athletes that they have in there, I mean, A'ja Wilson, come on now. I mean, it really starts with her. We all know what she brings to the table. Breanna Stewart and others, we see what this league has available to itself and what it's maintained. We get that part. But I'm not going to ignore, nor am I going to take my eyes off of what transpires with the WNBA over the next 2 weeks while Caitlin Clark is out with the quad strain. And the reason why is because, let me tell you something right now, I'm not going to go to word hate.
His actual conclusion matters here. The resentment is understandable, but it's not about Caitlin Clark, it's about what she represents. That's a meaningfully different claim than saying players hate her personally, and it's worth holding on to that distinction as the conversation continues.
Now, I'm not going to go to word hate. I'm not going to be out there like RG3 was saying that Angel Reese hates Caitlin Clark or other players hate Caitlin Clark. But I will say this. I don't think it's specific about Caitlin Clark. I think it's what Caitlin Clark represents. See, it's no fault of Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark balled. She balled at Iowa in college. She's balled since she's been in the NBA. She came into the league last year with no break whatsoever between the college game and the pro game and did her thing. Ended up as an all-star, ended up being...
The Jordan comparison is the crux of his argument. Magic and Bird didn't stop Jordan's rise, and it didn't stop Vince Carter, Iverson, Shaq, Kobe, or anyone else who came after. A rising tide lifts all boats is Smith's actual, repeated thesis across multiple appearances this year, and it's the same argument he's made in other interviews about Clark's impact on the league's business.
Digit percentages. So let's not forget that. But they didn't grow by 319%. That was Caitlin Clark, which means she's largely responsible for the overall league attendance records. Merchandise sales were also up 450% for the WNBA, according to Fanatics, and Clark was the top-selling player and is fifth among athletes across all sports. Fanatics also reported a 100% increase in sales for WNBA-specific merchandise. It started with Caitlin Clark.
He extends the critique beyond players specifically, calling out announcers and pundits too, without naming names, for not giving Clark her shine. That's a broader media industry critique layered on top of the player resentment argument, and it's worth treating as a separate claim from the locker room dynamics point.
Your Magic and Bird, that didn't stop Jordan from coming along and doing what he did. Over the years that followed, it didn't stop the Vince Carters of the world, the Allen Iversons of the world, the Shaq Diesel, Shaquille O'Neals of the world, the Akeem Olajuwons of the world, the Charles Barkleys of the world. Not necessarily in that order, of course, because he came before all of those guys that I mentioned. How about a Vince Carter? How about a Kobe Bryant?
Back to confirmed numbers. Clark became the first rookie in NBA history with at least 25 points, 5 assists, and 5 rebounds in a playoff game, and just the 4th rookie ever to play all 40 minutes in a playoff game. Those are real, checkable rookie season records.
Set viewership records that year, her rookie year, for its highest viewed WNBA game. Do you know every one of those games included the Indiana Fever? I mean, am I just making this up? Every one of the games included the Indiana Fever. You think that's an accident?
6 different WNBA television partners set viewership records in her rookie season, and every single one of those record-setting broadcasts involved the Indiana Fever. That's not a coincidence Smith's inventing, it's a well-documented pattern from the league's own 2024 season recap.
Home games to bigger arenas when Indiana came to town to accommodate more fans. That's about Caitlin Clark. How do we know this? Attendance for the entire league was up nearly 50% last year, according to data from across the timeline, and Indiana led all teams with an average attendance of 17,035. That was up 319% from the year earlier.
The attendance numbers are exactly right too. Indiana averaged 17,035 fans at home, a 319% increase over the previous season, the largest jump of any team in a league where every single team grew by double digits. 4 teams moved games to bigger arenas specifically when Indiana came to town. All of that is independently confirmed by Forbes, the 1BA's own season recap, and multiple other outlets.
The mother and all of that other stuff, and sisters from another mother, and got that. That's why I said that. Let's look at this. Became the first rookie with at least 25 points, 5 assists, and 5 rebounds in a playoff game. That was Caitlin Clark. Became the 4th different rookie to play all 40 minutes in a playoff game. That was her. I'm looking at other things.
And the merchandise numbers close this out. WNBA merchandise sales up sharply league-wide, with Clark as the top-selling player and 5th among all athletes across every sport according to Fanatics. Whatever you think of the resentment argument, the actual business case Smith is making here is fully real and well-documented.
But I will say this. I don't think it's specific about Caitlin Clark. I think it's what Caitlin Clark represents. See, it's no fault of Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark balls. She balled at Iowa in college. She's balled since she's been in the NBA. She came into the league last year with no break whatsoever between the college game and the pro